Hello and welcome to the Silver Gauntlets for a Season 5 Challenge Cup match from Group E between Cybrou and Oxidude. From our start, we have a Emerald start with Minuet and Adults.
So is this going to be another Market Kakarika start? Is this
Quite
going to be the
possibly.
Season 5 special?
If anyone's been watching Arthur's tutorial videos, we know that we're playing Minuet straight away.
Yeah, unless they drop somewhere interesting that they can immediately do something, then yeah.
Cool.
Oxidude's file names.
Sir Butts and Hi Mom.
Yeah,
Cool.
Hold on, let me...
Readied up. You know what? 10 seconds left on the timer.
Yeah, otherwise I'm gonna pull up the racers streams.
Here we go. Death Mountain Trail start for adult. Looks like we're just going to peek inside.
Yep.
Oh, what's that? Maybe dens? What was that up top?
I couldn't really get a good look at it.
Oh.
Let's see.
There's bloop in the wall, and the hint says boing boing.
Yep.
And so,
Frogs 2 is dead.
you know what the current time is. It's a very good hint.
Yeah, that's helpful. Just a red rupee on top.
Okay.
We got
And
Bolero.
Bolero.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get a bit of a song chain.
Yeah, could do. So you'll be opting to check some hints first, it looks like.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And probably go down to Mido's just in case. Looking for explosives, maybe strength.
Yeah, may as well while you're here, because Bolero might not chain to anything. You're just gonna kind of have to go wherever.
Though you can just go back with Minuet, so it's not a huge issue.
Yeah, but I think they might just, if they reset, they can just go straight to Kakariko faster than if they went from Kokiri Forest. So you may as well clear Kokiri, save warp back, jump down to Kakariko.
Yeah, Water Boss Key, nothing to stay. Outside Hull Castle, also dead. Quite handy. That's one that sometimes gets squirreled a little bit.
Yeah, thank goodness it's not a foolish hint as often.
Big chest of Midos.
The scale.
Early river?
Yeah, that looks...
That'd be very nice. Always feels bad when you can do river and you don't for the longest time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always right there and always very early in spheres, but it's always just far enough out of the way that it's just a pain to run in.
Yeah, well, it should be a lot easier, because it's something that's more easily doable now.
Oh yeah.
Our first divergence between the two runners. One safe quitting back DMT, one looking like they're going back through onto river.
Yeah, river is a good play.
Not the French player going down river.
Song of Time on Bolero.
Let's see if he's gonna Minuet and just go river, or if he's just gonna go... Now he's safe warping, so he's probably going Kakariko.
Yeah. And we'll have to see what Oxidude after goes is gonna do. What after
Ooh.
clearing through river?
SFM to Bongo. We don't have Bolero. We don't have fire access yet. Bolero could be our only fire access.
Yeah. And
Well, of course, we don't know that maybe Child, for all we know, could just be simply Child Nocturne, but who knows at this point?
Yeah.
yeah.
And a strength on top. It's calling. Dodongo is calling. Come on in. Here's a strength. And straight in. Very nice.
And Cybrou answers.
Chickens is dead, Sab.
Yeah, so we will not. Man, you're
And
quite
we
a bit ahead of me.
I'll refresh them. Got some Chews on River, which will make that Dodongo's play a bit better. Lake Hylia to PG as well.
Or am I behind? It looks like I'm behind.
Very nice.
At least-
First.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, choose.
It's a 20 pack, too.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
He's just gonna. Is he gonna grab the sun, or is he even just gonna decide to dip fire with that hint?
Oh, big chest in first. And a slingshot. Okay.
Save reset.
Yeah,
That
probably down
looks
the
like
hill.
that looks like a biggie up there.
Looks big. It's hard to tell from that angle. I've always found it a lot easier to do it from up top when you're
Yeah,
up
I've
there
taken
anyway.
to doing that as well.
Yeah. The only thing
saves
that's
you-
hard for me is like I sometimes just forget to check up top.
Yeah, I'll forget to do the roll check and be like, well, I'm just gonna run up to the wall anyway and check it just in case.
It saves you having to
Oxidude
do. So go on.
Oxidude going for that skull.
Though with Oxy,
yeah.
with the Chew pack, if Oxy finds a strength, he could just clear all of DC with those Chews and just get it done.
And more Chews. So not punished from Cybrou.
Ah.
No, but it'll help out. Could potentially help out Oxy if he goes for more small chests. And that's a small one. Because, I mean, if you're going to check compass, you may as well open the chest.
I mean, not going into Dodongos yet. Perhaps opting to get a shield first.
Yeah. Maybe even waiting for time of day.
Well, yeah, I mean, you use the shield to do the setup from the ground to hit the eyes, but
Yeah.
Well, you could do it shieldless from the left side.
And you probably do the you probably open the eyes before even climbing Dodongos.
Yeah, I do.
oh yeah, if I have Chews, I always do that from the ground.
Yeah. The left side is actually quite a bit easier once you know where to stand.
You never have to worry about soft locking on a ladder either. Hammer is massive here.
Oh yeah, hammer's gonna make a big difference. Force Temple to Morpha.
Let's hope it's not just Iron Boots. I'd like to see Gold Scale Water today.
That'd be kind of sick. But we'll get to see what's on the Storm's check. Yeah, DC's a pretty good way to fix your time of day.
Fire arrows
Oof.
in there.
Obviously, obviously you go for those.
Oh yeah, this early on, definitely. No idea where Dens is.
Yeah, especially since this could lock Dins. It's a 5-pack in DC, so yeah, Cybrow's gonna have to be very careful with them.
Lens
Oh,
of
and the
Truth
lens
DC.
is up there.
Yep.
Which is actually available. And it's Requiem in Storm's Check, which is more songs.
Also means we don't require this lens to get across the wasteland, so if it's for anything...
Light
There's
arrows.
the light arrows.
If it's
Now
for
they
anything, it's going to be for the lens minigame. Yeah, light's very nice. And magic.
Yep. Oh my god. We just need a bow to put those fire arrows to be ready. But yeah, Cybrou going to buy a shield. I mean, it is pretty sensible at this point of the game.
Hey, yeah, may as well. If you're running by the store and you have enough money, may as well buy it, honestly, in my opinion.
10 minutes treasure chest game kit. Aw, yeah. Rush lens game.
Every day.
Do it blindfolded with the lens. So, how much of a troll do you think Dompe will be in this race?
I don't know, when is he not? He always seems to like to snipe me with the flame in the doorway.
Oh, exactly. Oh, it's even worse because it's always in the blind corners. At least in the doorway, yeah, you get some time to get out of the way, but like, in the blind corner, you just see it and you get hit.
Nah, I've had it one time just losing the race because it's in the blind corner and I went through the door enough for it to start closing, and then the fire knocks me back through the door. So it counts as me getting crushed and restarts the race.
Yeah, that sucks. I had something similar before.
Is it confirmed that he tracks you or not? It feels like he tracks you.
It feels like it. Okay, so it looks like he just full of junk. Oh, never mind.
That is definitely not junk.
That is definitely not junk.
You have Requiem. You can start clearing a lot of spirit.
Oh my.
Oh, yep. Potentially.
You just need a bow and you could do even more.
Do you just run down to Temple of Time now? Is that what you do? Check meds.
That's a good question.
Well, actually, it's a debate. Does he go check meds? Does he go do DC right now? Because he can clear all DC now. While he's here.
Yep. Yeah, and he doesn't have to worry about chew count either.
Oh no, he's fine for a while.
Be a reason why Cybrou hasn't done the whole of DC with only 5.
Yeah, 5 is pretty risky.
Well, at that point, the question is, if you do the eyes, that's 2 more checks, and you don't know if DC is a stone or med dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're using 3 of your 5 chews for that. Granted, he does have hammer, so it's not as big.
It'd be just 2. Because you can use the hammer.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can use the hammer. Yeah, so 2 out of 5.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the chew pack from River. Which once he does
going for DC.
Oxy's gonna be pretty happy to find that hammer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, early hammers just always early bombs or hammer are pretty nice to have.
Let's see if somebody decides to dip fire with that SFM bongo hint and having the early hammer and early choose to just straight up start running through fire.
Yeah, fire feels like a good play.
Yep.
Looking for your maybe hook shot in there.
It'd be obviously it's very rough to do with only 3 hearts though.
Yeah,
Might-
you can do the
might
hammer
hold
loop
off.
at least. You're never gonna be punished for that.
Well,
Yeah, hammer loop is a pretty good start. You definitely want to at least get, because you can find what you're looking for there. Because there's one qual where if you didn't dip fire early, you weren't going to get progression for quite a while. It was actually one of my better quals up until I skipped HBA. Because I was just a letter from Go mode at the 140 mark with like 4 meds. And then, well, seeing the GTG hint, it was like, nah, there's no way it could be there, could it?
So that's
But
5
it
for you.
happens. That's season 5.
Followed up closely by just go ice. No check density checks, just do ice.
Yep.
Oh, you've got 3 dungeons available? Nah, go ice.
ice just works. I don't know
Yep.
why. It just works every time.
It works early because you get a lot of song information, and you get a really out of the way place right away.
Yeah.
Ice
lost
is
my last
pretty
ice
weak.
to
Like, ice is pretty weak as the seed goes on. But early on, if you can get a 10-minute ice, that is invaluable information. Because it gives you your song logic, like where potentially that letter is, if there's anything good in there. And sometimes you just get...
Go on.
And sometimes you just get your out of logic bow.
You'd be trying the peak there for the child chest on the right hand. If you stand just in the corner of that platform there, you can peek up there, see if it's big chest or not. But
That's
then got
fair.
hit by the
The
bird.
levers. Oh yeah, the Gwei. And that's just a bloopy on the arch. Zora's Domain is foolish. That's a really nice hint to get.
No
That makes
need
that
to worry about
scale
big
way
bird.
less valuable then.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there.
No, but it's nice because you don't have to worry about King Mweep if you're Russian Ice. But if Jabu is a medallion, that'll be extremely handy too, because just go to Lake and finish it off that way.
Nice Song of Storms. Back to Minuet. What do you think? Into Goron City?
Yeah, I can see it. You got the
hammer.
You got Link the Goron available. You got the maze. You got quite a few things you can do in there.
Plus
There's
another
definitely-
2 hints that you can easily give with the hammer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like, if it was just with choose, I might hold off on the maze, because I find with strength, you can if you miss Link the Goron the first time, you can actually reset the room with the loading zone.
Yeah.
And if you pick up the strength quickly and run right towards Link and throw it, like right near closer to when the bomb's starting to explode, you could actually get it pretty consistently.
Hands down, the easiest way is that when you exit and he's coming out of the alcove, as soon as he emerges from the alcove, pick up Bomb Flower, drop it on the left-hand side. He always gets detonated.
Yeah, there's a few ways to always get them, which is nice. I mean, obviously the best and easiest way is with a bow.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to be seeing the right side strats for this one.
There we are. Saving just in case.
Nice. That was clean.
Pretty good. Oh, TSCL, we've got an AD seed.
Yep.
Oh boy.
That seems to be
Which-
happening a lot lately.
Which means going into these dungeons really doesn't matter. Just do the dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. Just rush dungeons.
So there's
That's a
absolutely no
really
punishment
valuable
for DC
hint.
right now.
Yeah, at this point, Cybrou may as well just go down and just beat the dongos.
Yeah, it doesn't
You already cleared
like
the top floor. May as well.
I could see Oxidude going through Goron City as well, and maybe picking up that hint.
Maybe.
40 is dead.
And realistically, he's gonna be placed in front of Kakariko, so either he can go back up, or say, screw it, go to Temple of Time.
Ooh,
Oxy doesn't know about that hint yet.
not yet, but I imagine he'd go to Goron City. Like, you have the ability to full clear it as an adult, and you don't have Bolero yet. Nice.
Well, means to get.
Oh, they
from
do have
Bolero.
Bolero. They just don't have a way to get back across the bridge yet.
Yeah, they have Bolero, but they don't have the means to get across the bridge yet.
It's
That
probably a
doesn't
fire
involve
temple.
breaking the rules. Because, I mean, you could always mega flip, but that's against the rules.
Just breaking
First
one or
standard.
two rules, I'm sure it's fine.
I'd put money on the ability to cross the bridge in fire.
I mean, with that SFM hint, who knows? Honestly.
Yeah, it's very true.
Did we see Cybrou do the Warforce grotto? I wasn't paying
Nope.
attention.
Yes. It had a Hylian shield in it.
Oh,
nice.
okay.
So
Oh.
it's either Bolero or Child Song.
Well, it's definitely gonna go deeper in the maze, that's for sure.
FW,
if-
very nice.
Because if he peeks this maze, he'll definitely see that big chest there.
I
And when
love
you see
getting an
that-
early FW and early magic. It's just so convenient.
There's the other oh my goodness.
More choose.
This is like
What's
bomb
with all the
choose to
choose?
see-
You don't need a bomb bag
Yeah,
this season.
who needs bomb bag? You've
Just-
got choose for days. Who cares?
Just wait until Bombchu Bowling has our go mode. I mean, it's possible.
And no bomb bag for a while. Hook shot, launch shot on bomb you bowling.
Bombchu Bowling. That'd be so cursed. And Oxidude not opting to... I think he's probably just going to save quit after checking through Spirit. For DC, we got a hammer out of it.
Hammer and lens.
What's
Hammer,
the
lens,
reward? That's
and
the
a-
question.
It was a
and another
Zora
pack
Sapphire.
of shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zora Sapphire. So... Zora's River is foolish. Oh no.
Looks like Seaver's not going to get that 20 pack.
Not at all.
Granted, he has 15 and hammer, so it should be fine.
Yeah. It just depends on how bad it's gonna be. I could see Oxidude also gonna find that shield.
Yeah. I may as well get that check while you're here.
And with the hammer, you might do like clearing out Lost Woods, or at least the bomb lock stuff, at the same time. Yeah. It'll be
Let's try-
interesting to see what our third stone is.
It's
He's
the,
like,
There's a tracker here. We need the stone marked if possible. Nice one.
Oh. Take. I'll take the medallion sheet. Yeah. It's possible it could be fire.
It's honestly going to depend on what the child son is.
Yeah. There's a biggie, I think, in KF Storms.
In.
Oh, ins.
Very valuable.
We just need those hovers and Nocturne. We're good to go.
Yep.
Oh, actually, no, and ZL. I forgot. Yeah, ZL. Never
Yeah,
mind.
but we know where ZL is.
To be legal in Shadow, we need a hook.
Yeah, and well, you only
Past
need
endpoint.
to pass the pot room area.
Logically.
No, like it's
Legally,
actually in the rules.
Well, yeah.
You know, like you can do it, and technically it would still fall under the rules. However, that one, like that in the Spirit Temple hookless entry for Twin Rova, are specifically banned.
Apparently, we're only 25 minutes in. It feels like a lot later. Hammer
Yeah,
strength,
a lot
guillotine,
of
magic, a lot of
a
items.
lot of items have been dropped. Still missing the important hook shot and bow,
Yeah.
but have basically everything else.
It kind of
A
feels
lot
like
of
a lot of
items.
ADC to start like this, though.
They drop a lot of good items on you early, tempt you with the promise like, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be easy. It's never like that. I always feel like the nicer a seed is early on, the worse it's gonna be.
So we have fire to bongo. No, not fire. Is it fire to bongo? No, not fire to bongo. SFM to bongo.
Yep.
Which had Bolero, so Fire Temple could very well be like hovers, or I guess
I think
technically
that's been our
Hookshot,
only
right?
hint so far for paths.
There's one
But
more.
we may.
Forest Temple Morpha.
Right. I remember now. I actually remember reading that one out. I was like, oh, how could I forget? Oh, yes. I was finding a lot of repeats.
So that means the important hints are going to be back of Lake, back of Hyrule Castle, that weird Hammer Grotto and Hyrule Fields that nobody ever checks. That's going to be the important hint.
It's only hammer locked as a child. Or as an adult. As a child, it's bomb locked.
Unless you're
And we can
Melrose.
actually open... The funny thing is, we can actually open it now and read the hint.
Shadow Foolish.
Shadow Foolish. So, Shadow might be actually the last logical dungeon.
Nah, it's going to be the first dungeon.
And
gonna be
50
green-
Skulls is dead.
It's going to be a green med.
Lost
Just
Woods
watch.
Baronade.
Lost Woods to Baronade. That's 3 meds. So, we're definitely going to want that scale. That's for sure.
That Lost Woods could be the Zora
Here.
tunic. Forest is forest, okay. Fine, so it's fire. That's our last stone.
So, fire? Alright. I didn't quite get the, fire, water, and shadow medallion.
Shadows on the fire med.
Fire med is shadow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's still Deku and Jabu.
Deku's water, Jabu's shadow.
There we go.
All right,
Teamwork.
there we go. Beautiful. That was a nice steel stick. Let's see what Castle 1 hint is. I don't think we're getting a Castle 2 hint.
River chest, small key.
Yep.
Yep.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind checking the backhand just because we only have 2 path hints so far. Or no, 3. We have 3 path hints.
Yeah, we got 3 paths. I could see Oxidude just leaving it and probably setting it for night. Is farming the red rupee there. But I could see him potentially going for it because if I'm setting it tonight, I'm gonna go and check the Castle 2 hints because it helps burn a bit of time a day. Doing something that could potentially give you a huge edge. Well, at least we have 3 paths now, so Kokiri Sword is probably not Kokiri Sword, something that leads to Baronade, so probably Letter or Rang are in Lost Woods. Because we already have a scale to access Zora's domain.
Cybrou a bit indecisive.
No,
But
I think
deciding.
it's time of day.
Yeah,
Trying to
it's
decide if you can make it or not.
Oh
so
yeah,
we're
it was
going down to
time of
Valley.
day. It was the debating if can I make it to Lon Lon in time. No. And
I
then
think
deciding between Dompe and Valley.
it would have
and
been
you can't.
very close.
Yeah, it would have been probably around Dompe time when he got in.
Probably, yeah. Just decided not to risk it and just going for the Valley. Grid of Valley.
Also deciding not to check Tektite on the way through.
True.
Yeah, he wants to save his choose. He doesn't have the luxury of an extra 20 on the for that. Whereas Oxidude skipped the 10 pack in the maze. But he also has quite a bit more choose, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, finding a 20 pack early is just amazing.
Okay, what Godtail item will Valley have today?
Yes, what will how will Real King get screwed over this seed? Sorry. As someone who knows that he's not a Valley player at all. Just like how Tiras and Haiti do not do a Dompe race.
Why not Dompe race?
Something about it being a minute too long.
I mean, it is kind of long, but it's
They're
at least
both ice
close.
rushers as well. No, there's a lot of memes. I mean, I have Well is throwing. Lost Woods to
This was
Queen Goma as well.
As well. Ah.
Oh my goodness.
Something to K-Sword in there then.
Yeah, probably K-Sword. Heck, could even be a bomb bag.
Yeah. I mean, all the hints could just be pointed to fire completion at the minute. Could be a bow, could be a hook, could be a tunic or a wallet.
Slingshot in Lost Woods. That's true.
Did we find the slingshot?
Yeah,
we
Slim
found
is in DC, like just like
in
Inquisitor
DC.
says.
Yeah.
In DC. Oh, yeah, I was in DC.
But yeah, with ZL potentially locking Goma access, it could be any one of the items that allows you to finish fire.
It's a red rupee on the letter spot. That's... Oh, we're getting a lens minigame, so get your
Team Rights,
guesses.
let's go.
Oh, yeah. I'm also a Team Right person.
Yeah.
Even when I go 1 in 32, it's always Team Right.
Just right all the way, baby.
Right all the way.
Well then,
And would have lost.
McCoyler doing the opposite of Team Right, let's go. Oh, 2 left. Lon.
Ranch.
Ranch. There we are, Lon Ranch. Always. We've had Chris. Chris is almost there. Let this be a left.
Oh,
Left,
nope.
Right.
And
just be.
I'd still pick that up. Because you'll inadvertently pick up heart pieces from NPCs anyway.
Yeah, and if
find out
you
which
know
hospital it
fire's
is.
in the cards, you may as well get some extra HP, just in case.
And it's not even the winner heart piece.
Sag.
Well then.
Child spawned and lost.
Game-
What? That's real convenient.
That's
says-
extremely convenient. Oh, I see what
Employ
he's
your
doing.
pathways.
It may as well grab the Sarius-san and check what the bongo hint is. Nocturne.
There we go.
Well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the end of the path hint right there.
could still be Bolero.
Yeah, it could be, actually.
Could be. I thought the path hint that should satisfy it right there. Yeah.
Well, that
It
could
can.
satisfy it, but it might not be the thing it's pointing at.
Yeah. It can be weird sometimes
Yeah,
where...
the logic can still point at the other thing.
Yeah, because right now we still need ZL, and we do need a hook shot as well, and that's a
the wallet.
well,
So,
Hey, you can go buy.
there's the last one. Lake
highly
Hylia,
offensive
it's a-
Ganon. Oh,
I don't think we found anything in Child Lake Hylia, did we?
we have not found anything in Child Lake.
Beans, let's go. The
think-
scale for beans.
I think Tidus was Blue P. Not sure though.
Yeah, I think it was dead. But yeah, that Lake Hylia hint's could be really valuable because whatever is there is probably beans locked.
hmm
I actually think it could be the hook shot, actually.
Yeah.
It really
Because-
could be.
Because that
pretty
would be
likely.
in logic at
Mhm.
this point with the fact that the scale was Fear 0.
And it would also crush my dreams, which is what the game likes doing.
Yeah, I honestly do think that hook shot being locked is most likely right now.
Yeah, at least with our information. But again, we sit at a bird's eye view of the
Well, yeah.
seed. But Oxidude should be handing in 10 skulls in just a few seconds. As we get Slingshot game on Cybrow's side. Well, that's unfortunate. 10 is dead as well. Are they trying to teach us Minuet? Nope, never mind.
They're doing a sick remix of Minuet.
Yes, very sick remix. They're throwing in new notes just to throw off players. And there's the Baronade path, most likely.
Can the Goma hint also point to the same item?
They
No,
can't
it's not.
point to the same item, but like the item from the first one can go towards the second one. Like if the Ruto's letter is locking something else,
Oh yeah, like pointing to Ludo's letter, which is then locking K-Sword somewhere.
there's the second Shadow Foolish, and there's the bow. Oh no.
Potentially more likely to be for Deku, though.
Yeah, that's more likely for Deku. Like, the only thing it could otherwise be for would be Boomerang.
Or the Zora Tunic.
Yeah, because that's true.
We only have one more left. If we find another one, then it definitely is not the Zora Tunic, but it could be.
Yeah.
I was just pointing to Baronade, not Morpho, so it couldn't be Zora.
More. Yeah.
For the Goma hint, I mean.
Well, it could be anywhere at this point. An interesting thing to consider, too, is that the letter could be for Goma, just for getting whatever's behind Zora's Fountain and the Jabu.
Hey, Levi.
And K-Sword was nothing.
Yeah.
Because Oxidude isn't even going to look inside.
Link just being an absolute unit there, rolling through a boulder. I have dreams of being that powerful.
He can roll through a boulder, but he seems to have trouble with crawl spaces.
I mean, if that's his limit, then fair play.
Yeah, take the ability of just being able to just roll through a boulder and then squeeze through a semi-tight space.
Oh, managed to get a broken stick by accident.
So, no ZL yet, but we haven't checked Lon, just because time of day has been weird for us.
Yeah, time of day is not great for either of them.
And save quitting into Lost Woods doesn't make getting back to market any easier either.
Yep. Well, we do have a Nocturne, but at this point, not exactly the one you want right now, because you have to do a lot of walking.
Did Oxidude make it just nighttime before he went child?
When he was walking to Hyrule, it was basically night already.
I wonder
It was
if
actually. I think he checked Dompe. That was where the vault was.
That was the one.
Yeah.
And he didn't even set the time. It was just coincidence that he had. Actually, I think he may have just walked and had the perfect time for that, which is nice. Because
So,
if you could save like a load screen transition, then it's not bad.
both going down to buy beans, I think.
Yep.
And Light Incoherence Suggesting could come up. Hand a Nutter, go straight into Hylia.
Oh yeah, because
buy beans, go to the domain, just hand in Ruto's letter while you're there.
And you'll have time of day for Lon then.
Go plant beans in Hylia with the scale, and then take Kajiro over. Or not Kajiro. I don't know why I thought it was you.
Our friend
Mr. Owlman.
And then as soon as you've done fire, rush ice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, Rush Ice is not a bad call right now.
I think until Season 5 changes to Season 6, I'll just rush ice in every seed I play.
Yeah. The only reason you would not is if they decided to ban Mweep Skip, but
As long as I have letter, or nowhere letters, I will.
Well, actually, that's true. They don't have ZL, so actually, Ice would be really deep in logic. Like, really
That's
far
what
back.
I mean. We can go do fire, then we've got ZL, then we go ice.
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on where the bomb bag is and how, like, if Pierre has a key as well.
Yep.
Because if we find a bomb bag and Pierre doesn't have anything, like it's just junked as an item of some sort that's not useful, then they'll be really good for them because they don't have to have to worry about it then. We're about to see what Talon has for us because we're not handing in the letter from Zebru's side.
He has a void of death underneath his room. That's what he has for us. That's where the chickens go. Into the meat grinder. Let's go.
I mean, the ceiling's pretty close to that too.
Taking the chicken to the frog people.
Yeah, it is really weird to have a scale start seed, but then also have River and Domain both dead.
Yeah. But it is convenient because at least we got a couple of hits along the way. And it is a free skull, so...
Tharia's. Now, do you save quit? And check
Maybe after the
Skull
silo?
Kid. Yeah. Save
Oh,
quit
he's
Skull
prepping.
Kid.
Oh, he's going deep into Jabu. He's
You probably leave Froze in there, right?
yeah.
Right, yeah, you definitely.
Or at the very least, go to like rank chests and then leave the furores in the main room.
And you also get the extra 2 hints up into in Fountain. And that
Oh,
was
no.
a green rupee.
The most cursed item in the game.
Maybe even go all the way to make the gamble on Stainers having something. I don't know.
Well, there's no reason not to, I think. Because you're going to have to do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And Rudo's just a pain either way. And with furores, it's not a huge gamble. And you're
Yeah.
going to be required to do it anyway. No matter what, because this is AD.
And then it just has your hookshot. And that was
Oh,
your part
goodness.
Phantom Cannon.
Yeah, that's actually scary because that is a potential. Plus, it's a free skull there. Forest
Sorry,
Temple
Sung.
still.
Not delivering the Kikiri sword he wanted.
Nope.
Well, we know hit Lake Hylia is for Ganon, so chances are at this point Hookshot has to be behind Bean. Because Bow was easily accessible in Sphere
And
Zero
so
check.
and strength was too.
Yeah,
And
so it has to be Hookshot being locked because nothing in Child Lake Hylia.
Or something
the-
leading to hookshot.
Toilets of magic meter. That would be such a bad hint if, you know, we didn't get magic in a Sphere Zero spot. Alright, we'll have to keep eyes out for rank chest and beans. I think the only spot we haven't checked in Hyrule Field is Tektite Grotto. Not even for a peek.
Yeah, nobody's checked Tektite yet.
I want to see irons on it.
Oh, that'd be so cursed. I could actually see like Path to Morpha being in like for Forest actually being a long shot.
I want to see gold scale in forest, so we can get our irons or our long shot somewhere else. But I want to see the world burn, so that's just me.
We have not seen a child spirit play yet.
No.
We should, I think, soon enough, but right now we're not going to quite get that.
It makes sense for Oxidude maybe to do it after going to Lon Lon.
Yeah, or even going into now
Both of
after
them?
Lon Lon.
Yeah, neither one of them has touched Child Spirit yet, which could potentially have something as well.
Yeah, I mean,
it just makes sense after fire. That is.
yeah, especially since we already know our Foolish Dungeon, which is a really good Foolish. Because that tells that Shadow's somewhat late into logic, because we're still missing those hovers. And those hovers could be anywhere. There's our water Bosky repeat.
It looks like Cybrow's not going to... Oh, no, he's grabbing a fish. Never mind.
Yeah, if he had a second bottle, he probably would have grabbed
Yeah.
it when he went in, but sometimes you don't get that second bottle.
Naruto's butt helping the Save a Stick Foundation.
Yep. It's a small one. But it's good to get that information at least, or just open it up and get the sticks that you just spent.
Hey.
Not going to place for Roars is interesting.
You did that earlier.
Oh, did he go straight away?
Oh, yeah, he did that room. Before in the main room before picking up.
That's an option, I guess.
Yeah.
I like putting it in the first tentacle room.
Yeah, same here. Because Ruto will still be waiting outside. But I think Oxidude's gonna hike to Lon Lon Ranch from here.
And place the bean as well, this way.
Yeah. Might even get a couple of the Southern Hyrule checks. Because there was Cybrou that got them the first time around.
I don't know, for the time of day preservation, you probably just plant the bean and get the owl across, unless... Has he not done Lake yet?
It doesn't... No, he hasn't. That was Cybrou who did.
Yeah.
But from Cybrou's side, we might see a child spirit soon enough.
At the very least, just getting those first two checks. May as well.
Looks like Cybrou's trying to get fairy for fire.
Yeah. Now is a good time. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty interesting to see where he goes next after seeing that it was more or less barren here. I'm thinking a child spirit after.
Child spirit could be good, but child spirit into Nocturne play across the field into Market again then. Back to adult, get ZL, have a happy life. But you don't have to worry about AD again.
Yeah,
Until
as
the
long
next
as
meet.
Pierre doesn't have boss key.
Yeah, because Lake Hylia is so far out of the way, especially you don't have opponents. It's such a long trek. Which, I mean, honestly, it could very well pay out just because we know the hint.
Yep.
It might be worth doing just to get your hook shot.
Oh yeah,
And then
he's
also
gonna
grab
take the
Pierre.
owl. That makes sense. Preserve time of day. You can get it as adults for Southern Hyrule.
Odds for the owl.
And just farming some rupees. Ooh, this
Time
is
goes
gonna
in
be
time.
tough. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get that song for a while.
Over to your ZL. So Riri.
Yeah, this is an AD for ZL seed.
It's a classic.
Yep. Just like AD for Nocturne. At least you know it's AD.
Yeah, you know it's AD out the gate. You already start off with a stone. DC is one of the stones that gets knocked out instantly. And you're given hammer in DC, so honestly, the end of the world. It's a pretty easy to just chain your stone
Yeah.
dungeon right away.
DC Flyer, DC Deku. Pretty happy with those if it's going to be AD.
Yeah. The Forest is not a bad one for AD either, if it's a stone.
Because you pretty much have to get every check anyway. You just go through the motions, just autopilot through forest, do the thing.
Yeah, just set a timer for 14 minutes and wake up afterwards.
Yeah, fire for Ruby. Well, it's what the game decided. But it'll be interesting to see how our divergence pays off for this race. So it could be anything interesting in Child Spirit.
You know, honestly, even though it's an AD seed, it's really not been rude.
Oh, required.
Oh yeah, Child Spirit's 100% required.
I always want to get Child Spirit just out of the way if I have the items for it in Requiem. It's
Oh, it's a biggie there too.
oh boy.
What do you think it is? Oh no!
Rain.
Oh,
Oh.
So
Oh, he can Ferraris right out of here and just do
Yep.
Jabu.
that's lovely.
Oxy's
Oh.
gonna go to.
That's gonna be kind of rough for Oxy.
The only thing more satisfying than finding the Rang immediately after putting Florals in Jabu is
Yep.
finding Rang into main before going into Jabu.
Oh yeah, definitely. Or doing or getting the letter before or leaving domain.
Tectite Grotto is.
It's a shield.
Only a
Shield.
Rip my
Oh.
dreams.
Well, we're gonna be getting at least one Jabu down. Oh, Cybrou put it in the parasite room.
No, don't despawn the chest yet.
And it's ripped.
Oh,
Still going. Okay.
okay.
Probably looking for more chews.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
can
know
see that.
he has enough, but you don't know if you're gonna flub it.
Even slightly more health for 5 could be good, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Or just some extra money. Because after all, adult archery is on the table.
Oh, looks like Link's gonna break his neck.
Don't
He's gonna smash his skull and break his neck.
Or Lonk.
I've
He
always
has
found that like the funniest animation. Just swan dive onto the fucking asphalt.
What's even scarier is his head's intact.
I mean, he can roll into boulders after all.
Exactly.
It's not the. It's not
Oh
the
my god,
weirdest
that's
thing.
part of the superpower.
And what is the Earth except a giant boulder?
Well, I don't know. It's not much of a boulder, more of just like a gigantic steel ball with a rock crust. Either way, it'll hurt if you bonk your head on it.
Yeah.
But then again, Link would probably fall from like the very top of the world, like, and hit terminal velocity, and all that happens is that he loses a heart, and not even like his legs would break either.
In a world where the Olympics has bonking as a category, I would want Link to be my mentor.
I'd be scared.
You have a wall with increasingly heavy objects on top. Bonk into it as hard as possible to knock stuff off of it.
Yep.
That's a good Olympic category.
Right, what's on top of here then? That's what I want to know.
All right. That's a hook shot.
It's a hook
Yep.
shot.
That's the only thing that makes sense with that hint.
Yep.
Let's
The only
start clearing some
possible thing
dungeons.
that could have been is like a bomb bag for like hook shot in Bomb Chew Bowling.
Yeah. We still haven't found bomb bags, so yeah, that still logically locks a good bit out. Because that would lock ZL as well.
Yeah, it locks the ZL, but it doesn't lock the hammer at least.
Mm-hmm.
We won. Is it time to stop doing overworlds?
So I think Oxy, after this check, he's just gonna minuet and just go straight for Snorst.
Yeah,
He's got everything. He's got minuet. May as
We've
well.
got to do it at some point.
yeah, exactly.
Plus, it's Force Medallion as well, so he gets a song.
Yep. But yeah, this is not bad to really go into.
I think you probably even opt to do fire first.
That's really tricky. I actually do forest first, just for like mate forest into fire. Not sure though. There's a lot of things you could definitely do, because you have 2 dungeons you can kind of full clear at this point. And I mean, forest is a path to Morpha.
Yep.
Which is the main reason why I'm mentioning why forest is a pretty good idea to go first.
Yeah. And that being our... Oh, is it... And that being the hookshot hinted, means that is definitely going to be the first hookshot available.
Yeah. It's likely that it's probably long shot in forest. Because, well, it is hookshot
Well,
locked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Oxidude is going to go do Southern Hyrule quickly.
Yeah,
this...
that was box skip.
It's really like the final bit, like actually getting through the door, that's the hard part. The trick itself is reasonably simple to think about, but it's really just the last hit on the door.
Yeah, it's the duh. That bit. Duh. Or at least
Yeah,
that's how
I'm
strong
still
it's
not
meant to be.
reliable enough with box skip. I just lower the platform. I just grabbed the box.
Yeah, it's a little less difficult than Gainers and Majora's Mask, but still pretty. Still a really tough trick.
Grabbing Master Quest puts the port a little bit further back, so you can't do it.
Yeah.
Master Quest also puts cows in walls. Master Quest is just weird.
Grabbing Master Quest is fantastic.
Oh yeah, there's way less Rudo.
Oh, that sounds great. Like, actually great, because she's a better troll than a fish.
Yeah, like Javu and Master Quest is like one of the dungeons is definitely improved, mostly because less Rudo just makes it way better dungeon to navigate.
We found some. It doesn't look like the bot's working properly. We've got Forest on Path to Morpher. We've got Hylia on the way to Phantom Ganon, where we found our hook shot. We've got SFM on the path to Bongo, which is Nocturne. What was the other ones we had?
Lost Woods, Path to
Lost Woods,
Baronade.
both Goma and Baronade.
Which we found Rudo's letter so far there.
And a bow and a Zora tunic.
Which I think Rudo's is the only item we found there, right?
Oh,
We found a
bow and Zora
bow.
tunic both there.
Bow, yeah, that's right.
I don't think it's gonna be the Zora tunic though. It could be, but it would only be for Central Pillar.
Could be for Lax.
Which, conveniently enough, we did get the boss key and the river chest both hinted at for Water Temple.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it is significantly faster to route that dungeon with the info.
Yeah, especially since we know that boss key item is a dead item check, and
River small key, so you can easily skip it.
yeah, so that's our spare key and our item number uno. But yeah, the only thing we've found so far other than keys is Nehru's Love. And that's not Wath in these settings. It can be with like Grotto entrance randomizer or Scrub Sanity, but that's about it.
It's in a 30 hint yet.
Yes, it's dead.
Okay.
Found it in Kokiri Forest, apparently.
So once we finish collecting 20 in here, we're done with skulls.
Yeah, more or less.
Right, time for this to be a Cybrou stream.
Yeah.
Back to adult, probably into fire, I guess. Potentially down to Lake, just like Oxidude did.
Yeah. Well, he knows that Lake is path.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there. The hookshot being up there is the thing that makes the most sense. That or bomb bag for logical locks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was like the only 1 to 2 items it could have been.
And sadly, no Serenade, but oh well.
Yeah, it looks like he's hiking over there. That's 4 keys already in Forest. Holy smokes.
That's great.
It could mean that some of the Bowlock stuff could actually have the K-Sword. Because there's a lot more Bowlock stuff than Zora Tunic lock stuff. The
Yeah.
green checks mean that the specific check that has been done, like the Zelda's Lullaby check, is always done at the very beginning of the seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you see the check mark there, like on Saria-san, and that means they went to Sacred Forest Meadow as child to get that song check.
Yeah.
So, are we making a play for?
Yeah, it looks like we're
ETG?
reversing.
It's interesting.
Honestly, bit of a ballsy play, but
We
do you have
don't-
Strength 2 and Hook Shot with GTG?
and Farrell's, I guess.
Yeah.
The problem is that you can't get to the the bow room without a bomb bag or hovers if you don't have a hook shot.
Yeah.
It's an all right way to get into Lake
Ooh.
Hylia.
Yeah, you could. Oh, you could put down Furores. There's the bomb bag.
Cybrou misses the reverse.
Yeah.
Interesting setup.
So that bomb bag there finally that puts DC and that puts a lot of stuff into logic at this point.
Oh yeah. It puts finishing DC into logic. That could be our path for Morpha.
Puts DC into logic. It also probably puts fire into logic.
Yeah, allows you to get ZL,
Yep.
which is probably going to be used for water.
Yeah, because at this point we can actually full clear fire.
Assuming that there's no boss key hover boots logic to worry about.
Yeah. Unless we find hovers here as well. It could actually be in fire. I've had a hovers locked fire with the hover boots locking the last check. Yeah, it was interesting. Like the very last check before getting locked out, and it was the hover boots.
And Oxy's probably gonna hit all the small chests in here, hoping to just get the 200 rupees. Just to go straight to fire, but probably just buy Goron tunics. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since... Well, he doesn't even have to worry too much about the fight anymore. Like, well, he still has to worry a little bit about the fight because the Volvagia can be a bit of a meanie.
And also that bomb bag and the plentiful chews. You can do the chew strat and kill Volv in seconds.
Oh yeah. Takes 11 chews, all very quickly spammed out. But this is definitely going to be a journey for items, this seed. And they think too is that bomb bag could also have leading to something on Chew Bowling. Hookshot was on top of Lab. It was Beans locked.
The bubbles play nice and not eating Link mid-jump.
Oh god, yeah, that sucks. Oh!
Big one.
Forest is loaded. Strength 3.
Strength 3. Okay. Outside
Oh,
Hollow Castle, long shot, let's go.
That is possible now.
I find that post chat pretty funny to do against her. Like, do a one-on-one sword fight. You just stand there pelting her with arrows over and over.
The easier method
Yep.
is definitely just to edge into her as you fire the bow, but it is more comical. Just to
Just
spam
stand
the bow.
back like, no, stay back, and just keep firing over and over again.
Man, put your hands up, lay on the floor.
Link has no mercy. Which, having furores into GTG is not a bad idea.
Yeah, as adult, may as well.
Bobby, put Frawls down.
Especially since we don't know where Serenade is.
And picking GTG is never a bad play.
Yeah. Especially with Bow potentially being Path.
No peak.
No more
Same.
peaks.
I just going Gerudo Valley Hammer into Lake Hylia.
Yeah, fair.
That works.
Finally pick up that hook shot, and it's probably gonna make the Snorrest play.
It's interesting we didn't go into Spirit because we know that there are 2 keys on adult side.
Well, the problem is that one of them is ZL locked.
Yeah,
And
but
the
still.
thing too is, it could still be key locked because you only need one on adult side if Child Climb, like Sun Map Chest, Sun Block Room, or the Bomb Room are all keys. Have a key, or 2 keys actually. If there's only one key, yeah, between all of the child, the checks, and spirit, then yeah, both adult side, the front checks are going to be keys.
Spirit key logic is weird.
Yeah, it gets even crazier with key sanity. But Cybrou getting his hook shot.
Yeah, same thing. Go check fishing. Go set scarecrows. Go forest, because you got the full kit anyway.
There's
May
the
as well.
winter heart piece. Just sitting, chilling in forest next to the blue Poe. But yeah, that strength 3 is very concerning. It could just be bomb bag, which probably would make the most sense. It would point to ZL.
White arrows coming in handy in this room.
Yep. It'd be nice if you could cycle between arrows just as a meme. Because, I mean...
Yeah, do it Wind Waker. Was it
Or
Wind Waker
Majora's
HD?
Mask,
Let you do it.
Majora's Mask Rando also supports that.
My biggest tip for that room is not to climb up the ladder and cast dins. If you cast dins just after climbing off the ladder, you step back, and as it activates the switch, you're inside the ladder, so soft locks you.
There's a lot of things that seem to soft lock this game.
Yeah, this game is kind of a mess. In terms
Well,
in a lot
the
of
real
ways.
enemy is not Ganon, it's ladders.
Yes. Then again, almost every game is like a buggy mess.
Oh, this game is a buggy mess for sensible reasons, and I love it.
Yeah.
Learning a new way of pushing blocks from Oxidude today. I think everyone has their own way of doing it.
Yeah.
Is there like an objectively fastest way to do the blocks or something?
That must be right.
I mean, there has to be. I feel like a
if
lot of
someone
them
went-
probably end up about the same amount of pushes.
You just need to let a neural network AI work out.
It all I think I'd imagine would be like if someone actually did the testing for timings. But they'd be roughly the same. You'd save a couple frames on one method and another on another. And some may even lose some time, but we wouldn't know until someone actually put it to a task test. And even then, it wouldn't be noticeable for your average runner. At least the ones that get close, I mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are definitely ways you can push it, which will be a lot slower.
Well, of course.
But,
Cybrou feeling slightly ahead at the minute. Being inside forest and having already done Jabu. Pretty close, though.
yep. I think the advantage right now Cybrou has is that he's full cleared Jabu.
Full cleared Jabu is already done. Already did Child Spirit, has 4 race set in GTG ready to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
However, we have plenty of logic on Oxidude's side to do fire as soon as he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Cybrou also does fire right away with the full kit from here.
Yep. Yeah,
Question is how deep into fire you go.
Oh, another
Assuming
big
you
one.
find the
Oh,
Force is really loaded.
that's the 20th skull for Oxidude as well.
And another slingshot bag.
It reminds me I seen yesterday when starting the Lost Woods and did what was it, Ocarina game immediately to get a slingshot, then climb up, hit slingshot targets, then get another slingshot. I'm like, cool, thanks game.
A vanilla reward. Always appreciated. Could you imagine if there was like one seed where the keys were shuffled instead of the items? And the items were just all in their vanilla locations.
You're searching for keys to get the vanilla items to route in more keys.
Yes.
that could be an interesting side race.
Yes. Too bad that the randomizer doesn't have like a vanilla items.
Well, you could plan do it.
Yeah, I know you can plan to it, but it'd be nice if you could do it on the website directly.
Just a setting vanilla item, like vanilla major item locations.
Yes. Throw off a lot of people. Like, imagine having to go through AD just for Sarya's song for vanilla strength. Oh wait, that's the original game. No, I'm kidding. That was it was only just the 3-song loop.
All right, one stream's out of Snorist. Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't too bad for forest. We had a few big chests.
Yeah,
there's enough big chests to watch.
Get me going. And we get the old S4 check of decking hints.
Yep. Well, there's 30 being confirmed dead.
Well, they were pretty close to maxing out on hints now.
Yeah.
It looks like we're missing.
I
Wait,
think
did we
it's
get
just
skull mask?
Yeah.
I think it's just like one sometimes. No, it's just for Oxidude. It's just 50 skulls that he's missing.
The skull monster's dead.
mask.
Very nice.
Gonna put skipping Lon Lon Ranch. I've done that before in a seed, and it paid off stupidly for whatever reason. Like, I wasn't intending to do it. I just had bad time of day every time I did it.
I think that was my first Scrubs tournament race that I did. A 3-hour Lon on Ranch. Ended up winning anyway. But Scrubs, crazy things happens in Scrubs.
Yeah.
I've never looked
Like,
into scrub
especially with
tournament.
so for the settings, this past year, it was like 4 med bridge, which made things pretty annoying because you had to think about it a
Ganos
lot.
Castle.
Yeah, and it was often dead. But the one time that it's like Way of the Hero and you could get baited away because I had one seed where it was logical AD for forced access because that was medallion number 4. But of course, when you can just gold scale water, is that even an issue?
That's fair. Yep, farming the rupees, getting the ground tunic, and straight up to fire.
Oh my
Slightly different
goodness.
shade of green on each of them. Wait,
Oh
doesn't
my-
Oxy also have a green master sword or something?
Yeah,
Oh.
he is the
Green
true peppermint
tunics.
king.
Yeah, green sword.
Green sword, green tunics, green hearts.
Just wait until we find a green mirror shield.
I'm 100% is gonna be a green mirror shield.
Could you imagine if you could color the the Deku shield and the
Hylian shield, yeah.
Hylian shield?
It'd be great. They should
Yep.
This is the change we need. We don't need anything like dungeon refinement or anything. Just
I actually do
customize
like
colors.
dungeon shortcuts though. They're pretty nice.
I would enjoy them.
Give
But it
me
would just
more
turn
silly
Forest Temple.
cosmetics.
All it would do is change Forest Temple into a Fire Temple.
Yeah. Well, it also makes Fire Temple key logic way easier to think about because you're never hovers locked.
Wait, what shortcuts are you talking about?
So, dungeon shortcuts for Deku Tree, this means just like the push block is pushed down and the webs are burnt down, and the 2-3-1 scrubs are beaten. For
All
Dodongo's
those
Cavern,
random
the
things you don't
mouth.
have to do.
Yeah, for Dodongo's Cavern, the mouth is open and the little bombable patch on the ground is already blown up. For Jabu, it's just the platform going down. Like the one going into for the box skip.
You can just go straight into the boss fight.
For Forest, the elevator is down and the purple Poe sisters flame is lighting it up. Because that's actually the only one that the game technically checks for. It's just that
Oxy getting another. Wait, did Oxy not find?
he
one of
doesn't
those?
have he doesn't have 50 skulls yet. But it's not too bad if he just does stuff like along the way.
Oh yeah.
But for Fire Temple, it's just the pillar being knocked down. Water Temple's no change. Shadow Temple, the shortcut's open and the rupee room is solved. And for Spirit Temple, you know the unused shortcuts in Rando?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
One.
That one's down.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic. No strength 2 requirement.
And if you think that Spirit Key logic is bad now, with shortcuts it's even worse. Because now, any of those 5, just about any of those 5, except are all a 5 key locked. Think bottom of the well.
Yep.
But like it's Spirit Temple. But at least the lobby room is 0 key locked.
Hooray!
Yeah, hooray!
Also means you don't need strength 2 for spirit.
Oh, but you could. Like, it could be. The thing is, it's either 5 key locked or it's strength 2 locked. You know, like in GTG, with the whole Song of Time versus 9 key locked on the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
couldn't you just
similar.
approach that room from the back or no? Like, couldn't you go to
Logically,
like?
you need 5 keys.
Oh yeah, well yeah, logically, yeah. The wonderful world of spirit key logic.
Yeah, and force key logic gets weird. Well, not so much. It just changes the boss to being zero key locked. But you still may have to go through the entire dungeon just for the boss key.
Yep.
I remember doing that for a Freaky Friday, and it was on Bow Chest was where the boss key was. In a foolish forest temple with the shortcut down. And the first key was you had to go all the way around the courtroom. Yeah, fun times. But they also had it set to 9 dungeon bridge to really show off the shortcuts. And Shadow was actually pretty nice. Okay, we got a shortcut on, or a key on shortcuts.
Key counting in fire is especially helpful, especially if you're new to the game.
Yeah, key counting in fire, water, and forest are really helpful. Not forest, spirit. Those are the ones you want to keep track of. Forest, it can sometimes help because if you sometimes forget a check, then you'll be locked out. It's something similar, like Shadow's just forest, but with skeletons instead of trees. Uh-oh. Meg's going fast. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Shadow without the shortcut is a pretty linear dungeon. You just go through the motions, just like Forest.
Well, the difference between Shadow and Forest when there's shortcuts is Forest is basically the same. The only difference is that you have access to the basement.
Yeah. So you can potentially
Whereas
rush the boss if you find the key.
whereas Shadow, you can basically go through the whole dungeon backwards. On the plus side, Bongo is still technically only, I think, would still be like a lower key requirement.
Yeah, one small key, one boss key.
Yep. For
Yeah,
the
but in
shortcut, it's just
logic, you could, like, since you can misspend keys.
Oh, still all the small keys, I guess.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
I almost like, do they keep all the small keys? I almost feel like you'd have to like remove one because as it stands now, like I've done, casual playthroughs where I just glitch the hell out of the game, and you can potentially screw yourself out of Shadow if you go
Well,
reverse.
that's why you got 2 keys up in front. You always, like, for Shadow key logic, you need at least 2 keys up front if you have shortcuts enabled.
Yeah, that's true. You would have to place a lot more keys earlier because it's really easy to screw yourself.
Yeah. Shadow key logic is a nightmare with shortcuts, whereas
In vanilla, it's
Forest
very easy.
whereas Forest is just the same thing. It's just that
You could
unless
find a
you
key in the basement or something.
Like, if you really wanted to, you could always just do the 3-key force strat for that, because... Yeah, force turns into fire, and then the shadow turns into spirit. That's a good way of putting it. And spirit turns into water. Yeah, that's very true.
Still collecting skulls for Oxidude.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the 50 hints. Yeah, because I'm looking at his personal tracker.
That makes sense.
Oh, boss key on Pierre. Oh, that's gross. Oh, sorry, I'm looking way up ahead.
I would have suffered in this scene.
Pierre would have. Pierre's traumatized me enough to always check him.
Yeah, Pierre's traumatized me enough to actually learn Pixel Shot.
Yes. I mean, with the Hylia hints, you probably just do it, and especially with the Froz, there's no
Yep.
harm in going into fire anyway, and leaving Froz by Pierre's little platform.
Yeah, water never changes in shortcuts, because there are no shortcuts in water.
I guess at most they could push the block at the bottom down if they really wanted to, but
Yeah,
that
there's not
doesn't
much
like
point.
change.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they could make the boss key entrance easier with the back bombable wall. I've done it once. I've never played vanilla.
But I forgot to peek the upper maze if it was anything important.
I only saw wall for a lot of Oxidude's camera.
Yeah,
There
I
it
didn't
is,
quite
saving
catch what it
time.
was.
Well, we'll have to see. Ooh, you gotta go through the door. Oh my god. Oh my god. Saving himself from the fall damage.
Just cast No's Love.
So I'm gonna guess he probably didn't say anything important in the maze. He's not going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably good.
Still
I'll
going
probably
through
pay it.
fire.
Yeah. I mean, when it's that deep into fire, it's not a bad idea just to clear it now. Get
Yeah,
that
so
peace of mind.
for me, I only started racing this season 5. I've never done any racing before it, and my very first qualifier, I got screwed so hard because iron boots were super deep fire, and I put it off for so long. It's like, well, the one thing I need to beat the seed is right there. There's no gold scale,
Like,
or it was either no gold scale or boss key was in Central Pillar.
Suppose
So I
it's
had
good
to get irons.
information to see if hovers locks fire.
yeah, that's true too. I actually was really lucky because I went back into fire, and that got me a single-digit placing.
Well,
Oh, nice.
My lucky number 7.
Yeah, I only just started racing, and I averaged like mid 30s in all the qualifiers I did.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I have explosive results. I either get like really, really, really high or really, really bad.
Are you a gambling man?
A little bit. Like, it was the qualifier with what? Fire having K sword and Rudo's letter. I was I was actually poised for like a PB, like I think like a 210 or something like that.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I was
incoherent.
only
You know what I'm talking about. Go on.
but yeah, I was like poised because I had everything else and I had knowledge of where the rang was. Yeah, I was only a letter from go mode. And then I skipped HBA and that screwed me over. about 40 places. Because I full cleared spirits. And the only reason I went And the only reason I went back was because if I didn't, I would just forever orphan HBA. But yeah, I could have done that with like no bomb bag or scale, and that would have been annoying, but reasonably fast.
Big item
Ooh,
in the
big.
deepest fire.
That could be something that burns
I want to
somebody.
see a mirror shield. Give me mirror shields.
Oh my god, that reminds me of one of the scrub matches.
Oh,
No, it's an empty bottle.
it's the ice
It
cavern.
could be
that's what it
worse.
is.
Yeah, ice cavern, baby.
Alright, let's see what's here.
It's going to be a key, isn't it?
Pretty good chances. We are still missing 2 keys. Where's yep, that's 1 key. I think the other key was up on the wall. Or like
Well,
up
if it
in
was-
upper maze.
Yeah, if it was upper maze, then fair enough. But if it was
Yeah,
a brown
'cause-
chest and upper maze, you know that's a small key.
And you know that then it's hover that fire is hovers locked.
Yep.
We're about to find out either way from Oxidude or from Cybrou or Cybrou. I've been saying it right the whole time, and it's just like one time. That's okay. Oh, that's a
very nice
clean
jump.
setup for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely clean. I've been incorporating that trick into my runs. The only hard part for me is that jump right at the very end, right before the crystal switch gets triggered. Sorry, bro. Okay, yeah, it's the key. So it's not hovers locked.
Which is good information.
Yeah, Cybrow's gonna... I'm pretty sure Oxidude knows it as well. So Volvagia is an item. But what item is Volvagia is the question. What does our dragon chilling in the lava pool have for us today?
Stone of Agony. Let's go.
The
item that needs to be removed from big chests.
Well, the only reason is because technically it's a in the randomizer logic, it still thinks that it's just a trick to know where all the grottos are.
Smile.
Oh, Volv
And-
actually complied.
Very nice. 1 cycle.
Yep. Absolutely clean. Always nice, because now ZL is fully in logic.
May as well grab that. Get your Son. Maybe get the Son in Graveyard, because you got Nocturne.
Yep. And Ice Cavern's fully in logic, too.
Yeah, at the moment, Ice is probably one of the better plays.
Of course, it wouldn't... it could just yield us... Actually, Serenade would be really handy right now. That and Prelude, because our warps back are not nice. But no Stone of Agony, just some money.
Right now, you go straight to Ice Cavern.
Yeah,
Because
that's look like
Very likely that you have a good warp song to help you get around.
Well, actually, he can't. No
you
hover
need to get
boots.
ZL.
No hover
first.
boots. You need to get ZL. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if he doesn't have ZL, then he needs hovers. And we haven't seen hovers yet. Which could be virtually anywhere before Shadow. And if you're gonna get the song, you might as well just walk there, because you could get Bombchu bowling along the way. Actually, see what the lady behind the counter has for us, which will probably be disappointment as usual.
Yeah, but it's a pretty quick check.
And you get to blow her up.
Exactly. Win-win.
There's the other toilet hint. And we could get adult archery along the way as well, because
Yeah, see if that bow is just locking it just straight up in adult archery.
I mean, here's a funny thought. That bomb bag could actually be leading to K-Sword, because that bomb bag was bow locked.
Yep. They could be bottom of the well, which you have ZL.
And then the
Oh, Cybrou fell.
the Deku tree could have long shot or irons. And that would still be a path.
You can get back up without having to climb, but
yeah, you can just
He's just
but-
going for the.
you can get the block. You can get the block to avoid you out.
Yep. There's actually, I think, 2 or 3 blocks that you can use in the room to avoid you out. Though Cybrou's gonna have to be careful with
I think Cybrou picked up a fairy in
Yeah,
Jabu.
still has the fairy.
he still has the fairy, but I mean, he doesn't have Goron tunic or the wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fairy with how much HP he has, even if he
Eight
gets
hearts
like
fairy.
even if he gets like a 2-cycle Goma, or 2-cycle fall, he'll be just fine.
7, sorry.
Yeah, and if it's really bad, he can just reset anyway, like what he's about to do now. Is preparing, because just a lot easier just to reset if you get a troll hold. But we're about to see what's on the prelude check, because we haven't seen that yet.
So that bomb bag or that strength 3 might be locking K-Sword. Because it didn't get anything from archery game.
And with we have Castle Fairy. We do have ZL checks as well, because it is bomb locked, and now we have opponent stuff too, so HBA is looking pretty likely as well.
Logical
That is very
GTG.
true. That's
Yep.
yeah, logical GTG. There's a lot of places that K-Sword could be right now.
Yeah, and long shot to complement it. And the mirror, and both sets of boots.
So what's locked behind hookshot right now? We've got
There's ZL because of bomb bag. Strength 3.
GTG, Spirit Finish. There's a lot now.
ZL.
Yeah.
ZL because of boss key location. So there's a lot.
Oxidude for getting the hints,
I
maybe?
I think he's going for the Castle Fairy. Or, yeah,
Yeah, hinted.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for it.
All the final hints?
Oh, yeah.
Still looking for 50 skulls hint, I think, maybe on his stream.
I'd honestly just kind of gamble it.
Oh yeah, outside Hyrule Castle was. It wasn't marked on the sheet correctly. Yeah, outside Hyrule's, I guess sometimes hint was marked dead. So he's he's just coming up here for the hints.
Yeah, that's right.
And Skulltula? No, we haven't got
No, he
Bumerang
has
yet.
no ring.
Yeah.
Isn't there a hint stone down there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
He's going for the
Speaking
real
of which-
deep hint stone.
Yeah. But 50 is 50 skulls is potentially dangerous blind.
There's 50 skulls.
Yep. Oh, I think that's the second one because I think I remember seeing a Cybrou getting it as well. But that's gonna make time of day pretty rough for Oxidude. But I mean, with
I forget.
Chuckles.
Does the OOT cutscene set time of day?
Nope.
No.
No.
But well, it's the delicious play right now.
Oh yeah. Well, it has a lot of things that's going for it.
And I guess
It's hard at AD. Like some checks of it are hard AD locked. You got bomb lock stuff, which would still be on path as well.
Was Fire Temple bow locked logically for keys?
Yes, it was.
I saw them use
So
both.
that could also point to ZL as well
Yep.
for Kate Sword.
Yeah, because there wasn't any other keys in the maze except for the one to open the next door. So we're about to see, ZL get picked up. But it's been a lot of AD seeds recently.
Yeah. Do you think bottom of the well into Child Spirit for Oxidude?
I could see it, yeah.
I do think in AD, you just have. I mean, if you have Spirit as a med dungeon, it's probably worth just doing those first two checks as child, regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
Yeah. I
Heck,
think if you're
even
gonna do that,
when Spirit is a stone and I have access to it, I'll still do a peek of it because it's not a huge commitment.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. And then also it just lets you know if, I'll let you know if it makes sure for adult that you can clear the rest of Spirit if you really have to. Spirit is pretty dense in terms of checks.
But yes,
For
we will
most
be
dungeons.
seeing the Composer Grave full clear of that, thankfully, in Logic. So no shenanigans with storage this time. We got it how the developers intended it. But yeah, it'll be convenient because then he can save the health for well.
Swings for Night Swap song here.
I think Cybrou's gonna route in Dompe digging, it looks like.
Yeah,
Yes.
you need to go that way, regardless.
Yeah, I could see him going to like Bombchi shop to Dompe digging.
I forget, was it Cybrou or Oxy that did Lens game? Chess game.
It's Oxidude.
Yeah.
So Cybrou might do chess game as well. Maybe.
And the Vanilla Sun song is always a handy thing. It would have been nice earlier, but I mean, without Prelude, it is nice to have.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Cybrou's going to be going to, I think, Bombchu Bowling first, and maybe Lens Game. Because he didn't check that yet. Let's see what's in. Oh, okay, it's dead.
Nothing. It is nice when you get
And
seeds where you start off with Sun though, for sure. It's just so
I'm getting
handy
a
for
Richard
routing.
check too. Because Cybrou didn't do night market at all. So I'll be seeing Well soon. It looks like even before 20 skulls, actually. Alright, all eyes on Bombchu Bowling. Oh no. There's the dog.
Dog's just here to help out.
Well, Chew Bowling is dead, but it's nice to get that information. The dog and the chicken are the most powerful entities in Legend of Zelda.
And why were we sending Link to fight Ganon?
Yeah, we should send a dog or a chicken, or both of them. Actually, I wonder if the dog can actually beat, like, if the Kukos can actually hurt Ganon. Probably not. It's not quite the same as.
I know in like Link to the Past, bees can hurt Ganon. That's the same in that game.
Ooh. This could be Key Sword. Nope,
Nope.
never mind.
Double
But
D's.
Nope. And, ooh, another
big.
biggie. Well,
Can't
kind of
you-
loaded.
You can pick all these chests from 2 peaks.
Yeah.
Is this going to be the loaded well where there's a ton of big chests, but they're all useless big chests?
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yep.
It gets your hopes up seeing like 5 big chests, and you're like, God damn it. By the end of it.
Yep. Well is it looks like Well may be throwing.
I know, Well's never bad.
It makes
Big
sense
chest.
to do it.
Yeah, especially with the information. Well,
With
there's
the-
the
with-
third big chest. Oh, that's not a disappointment.
That is...
Yeah, now
Required.
well is the opposite of throwing now.
Yeah, Well is needed. Let's see. Oh, I was hoping that would have been a big one as well.
I think that pushes Oxidude to do Child Spirit straight away as well.
Oh yeah, I would like with that new information, I definitely would.
Oh yeah, do Child Spirit, you're ready to just full clear it. Get out of there. And then he still has his Ferrari set, so he'll find it. Ferrari's in the Jabu, beat it.
Yep. Then
So at this point for the C, we're just missing
K
We're
sword
missing-
and two sets of boots.
That's good save.
Yeah, shits. But yeah, we're still missing one key in there, so be interesting where that is.
Feeling quite good for Cybrou right now.
either 2 boots or potentially just gold scale, assuming it's not central pillar for boss key
Yep.
or important item.
Well, there's the last key, so the rest of the chests are indeed items. Grown to actually like fighting Dead Hand with the K sword though. So it makes spin attack strats easier.
I've always just done this strategy regardless, so jump slash and then just jump slash him as he goes down. That's how I've always done it.
My difficulty is just the timing.
Yeah, I have no idea how to explain the timing to people other than, I don't know, it just works for me. Lamau. That's just my only explanation.
2 shits of boots. But, I I've heard of one where it's like you wait for the right arm to kind of stop wiggling the second time around. And I've gotten it to work. Because the funny thing is, I actually use a visual cue for bongo for one cycling it.
For me, it's like the audio. I don't know. I think for me, it's audio. Oh, that's another big chest.
Oh,
For me, it's audio because I think I've listened to so many speedruns of the game that I like know the sound of bongo dying to ISG, so I know the timing of stabs.
That's fair. Yeah, because since it basically just goes the slash is just every frame.
Wait, he doesn't get hit every frame, but there's like, I don't know. I can just like hear, I can hear him dying in the rhythm. The rhythm of him dying is what it is for me.
Oh, there's the second wallet. So that definitely removes the Zora tunic from the equation.
Yep. So, Kikuri sword in GTG?
That's a very real possibility.
It's a small, so
a small one there, yeah.
Just mirrors the only important thing in the well.
It could just be deep in spirit as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. With that mirror, it could be now deep into spirit.
Bo looks a lot in spirit.
Bo locks a lot, but Bo's been locking several important items on the seed and also ZL.
Yep.
So it's the potential areas for K-Sword is pretty huge, honestly.
Do you mean K-Sword is an ice cavern? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's potentially
it could logically be in nice cavern, yeah. 100%.
100% could be.
Oh, Oxidude not going into Child Spirit. That's a bold play.
Where's it
Oh,
going?
I think he's doing Lon Lon.
No, that would make sense.
With Sunsong, yeah.
You have to get it out of the way at some point.
Or not.
I mean, technically you don't have to, but...
We don't know what's on Dad yet, but it's only Saria's song.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, maybe you just like... Oh no, he is going. There we are.
Yeah, I figured that was where he was going to go next. And then you can route that into Child Goron City, because everything in there is technically bomb locked.
If Oxy had gone Child Spirit...
Which is bow locked.
We may have not seen Lon Ranch in his game.
He didn't do Lon Ranch because he didn't have good time of day for it whatsoever. And Cybrou not going into well, that could bite him.
Yeah, that plays in Oxy's favor.
So we have like two plays that could be really rough. The lack of going into well versus the lack of going into Child Spirit, but Child Spirit's a more reasonable play because it's a dungeon that's required.
At this point in time, especially with the Mirror Shield, be running over there. And if I found Mirror Shield's Child and I've got Requiem, 100%. Do Child Spirit. Get out of the way.
Yeah, whereas like when do you go to well? Like you're probably gonna go to he's probably gonna go to GTG and like clear out that area.
Yeah, that's the most likely thing. GTG, horseback archery, hope for K-Sword over there.
Yep.
Have we seen OGC yet?
We have
no.
Not.
I think actually that might be what we're checking. Because...
Yes, you get Strength 3 was also locked behind Bo, and ZL's locked behind Bo, so...
So's Ice.
Yeah, Ice is honestly a valid play to make, too.
It is a Eat Rock first.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I could see us see Cybrou going to Ice.
And that is a green rupee. Save crit.
Yeah.
Child Goron
Yeah.
City, I guess.
Child Goron City, probably into the Child Spirit.
Definitely finishing on off Lost Woods first.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lost-
maybe also
Lost
checking to
Woods.
see if the Baronade hint with the Saria song may as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I guess also seeing if if maybe the bow.
There's the K
There we
sword.
go.
There we go. Well,
That was Crater Fairy, I think. No, that was
Nope.
Heat Rock.
It was
Yep.
Luigi's
Oh
Rock.
no.
That's
Oh
fine.
no. Oh, I mean, like, that's such a funny place to put it.
It is funny. But
The Cybrou going into GT, like, did the fairy
Yes.
fountain to GTG route, it looks like.
Colossus Fairy, you definitely try doing Adult Spirit right now, right? Then you can